Hey guys, welcome back to another video for the Grizzly Gamer. Today we're going to be running one of my favorite cruisers, the USS Cleveland.
All stations, proceed to capture that area. Get back! Acknowledged. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy battleship sighted.
And so we got the Hipper out there, the Alabama out there, some pretty heavy hitting cruisers and battleships moving in on us. We're going to continue following in our friendly destroyer up here in Charlie, try to get it captured. Looks like the Colorado's over there, kind of keeping an eye out, see who's encroaching on us. Don't really want to come detected because I don't want to get fired upon in this vulnerable position. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of coming in front of the island instead of going behind the island, where I could have came in a much better approach. But so far, nobody's seen me, so I don't have to fire my guns.
Proceed to capture that area. All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Go ahead and get lined up on this Colorado, see if I can get a fire started on him. It looks like most of the team has already been targeting him, and if you can get a good targeted fire going on somebody that you're trying to get scratched off the enemy team, it keeps them in the game a lot shorter. If everybody's kind of taking one shot at this person, one shot at that person, then everybody's able to kind of spread out the damage they're able to take. If you just overwhelm an opponent, and there's no way that they can use their damage cons and their health and their heals to kind of mitigate that damage, they're going to be out of the game within the first minute or so. Unfortunately, firing my guns did get me detected. The Hipper, I suppose, was coming over here to capture Charlie as well. Now he has me in a vulnerable position. I'm giving him a full broadside. I don't want to turn back at him and bow tank because I don't want to get any closer to those battleships than I have to. They're targeting me as well. I'm going to go ahead and stay undetected as long as I can. Fire at the Colorado, try to get a fire. He's almost done. Checking out the Hipper. Here in a minute, I'm going to engage my AP. The Cleveland has pretty decent AP, although the Hipper does have pretty decent armor. He can hold a better broadside than I can. As you see, when he hits me, he hits hard, knocks out my engine. I'm trying to adjust an angle that'll kind of get me out of this predicament a little bit. Unfortunately, the Hipper's turning towards me to engage. I'm starting to worry maybe he's going to launch torpedoes on me, trying to get out of his range. Now that I have an area I can actually turn and kite to the correct way. Go ahead and engage the AP, see if I can get a few citadels off of him since he got a few off of me. And we don't really get a citadel there, do get a pretty good salvo of 5,000 and look like 2,000. Another one for 2,000, should get a citadel here in just a second once we really line them up. Another couple of salvos for a little bit of damage here and there, not really anything good. Still hitting him for about 2,000 damage, and it looks like somebody else got the kill, the lightning over there. And so that allows me to turn out, get my ship undetected, get out of enemy fire, try to get around so I can address that destroyer, go back to my HE. I'm going to kind of stay over here in this corner and support this lightning the best I can. It looks like there is another battleship. Two battleships are kind of moving in towards our position. Gonna go ahead and try to get in Charlie as well, see if I can get the capture points. Might as well, since I did fight so hard for it, no reason to give it up for free. At this point, I see kind of how our battleships are kind of clumped together there. I see we have two battleships lagging way out behind. I'm going to start moving in to intercept those two battleships, kind of moving to the back of our convoy, try to skate through sea on my way so I can make sure I get those capture points, but that's initially where I'm heading. That way I know that's where the destroyer is probably going to be first. That's where I would go, pick off the last two, circle behind the enemy team, and pick off the rest. And I'm hoping to surprise that enemy destroyer when I get over there. As I make my way to intercept the Kagero over here to try to save our last two battleships that are making our way to us, looks like one's already gotten caught by his torpedo attack. Like I said, I knew that's where he would be at, kind of who he'd be going after. We really need to try to save that last Iowa. I do see that there's another cruiser over here with the battleships I was with, so I feel good moving out of this position going to that position. But on my way, like I said, if you have shots loaded, go ahead and get them fired at who you can get them fired at. Right now I have an Alabama in my range, so that's who's going to be catching these shells until I get close enough to help that Iowa out there. I see he's running a zigzag pattern, trying to keep going as close to him as I can without just going straight at a broadside so that Alabama can't knock me out. I'm sure at this point the enemy team realizes where I'm going and what I'm going in there for. And as you see, one of the battleships takes a shot. Luckily I was angled properly and they weren't able to get me in a citadel. I start lighting up that Bismarck, trying to knock out his secondaries and stay at a good angle to where he doesn't citadel me on my way over there either. It looks like at this time I had two people targeting me, which I knew were probably the battleships trying to avoid me to getting that destroyer. So far I still have both of my radars and my sonars and one heel left. It should be easy enough for me to knock out that Kagero. And so until I can get close enough to that Iowa out there, I'm going to keep knocking on this Bismarck. Either keep him on fire enough to burn him down out of the game, or knock him around enough to keep his secondaries from being able to fire if he gets close enough to any of our other teammates. Right now, we're actually kind of suppressed, pushed down to Charlie only. Lucky enough I was there to help my team capture it before moving out. I see the enemy destroyer. I'm really hoping I'm still right. He's out here by this Iowa, not moving away from me since he sees me moving in. Trying to lob some shells over at that Bismarck. Really hard to get a bearing on him because I can't see where his ship is or how it's angled, so I go ahead and start trying to knock out a few on that Myoko. I know if I can get close enough to his Kagero and that Myoko starts moving in to intercept me, that could be an issue because he has a higher damage rate than a battleship, so even if he misses his first salvo, his second salvo is going to be coming a lot quicker. And there's that Kagero, and he doesn't notice that I notice him, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get acquired on him, trying to gauge his speed. Destroyers are kind of hard at a range of more than 5 or 6 kilometers to gauge how fast they're going, where you need to aim your shells. Also, while you're trying to dodge torpedoes, maintain speed, watch out for battleships taking shots at you, and then you're trying to line up on him and fire at a moment's notice. And so we're going to continue to try to get him targeted. I go ahead and pop my sonar, start moving in to intercept this Kagero. As you can see, this Kagero starts firing shots at me, firing torpedoes down at the bearing I was coming in. I knew that'd be happening, which is why I adjusted my course, make sure I don't run right into those. Make sure to keep that sonar running. And then I see coming out of the aisle is the Bismarck. And I'm like, crap, if he already has me targeted for a citadel, I'm done. I immediately start going hard to port, trying to get away from him, put some distance in between me and his secondaries. From 7 kilometers away, the Bismarck is very dangerous. And so the Kagero gets away for a minute. I start hollering for a little bit of help, like, hey, we need to get this Bismarck off the board. The Iowa that's playing with me, he knows immediately what I'm talking about. He takes his shot and knocks that Bismarck right off the board, allows me to turn around and start to re-engage on that Kagero, and at this point that Kagero knows he's in trouble. And that's the joy of playing with a good team. That Iowa knew what I was coming over here for. He knew what I needed when I needed that Bismarck out the way. He took the killing shot, and he knew I'd go back in and chase out that destroyer, which is exactly what I did. And so unfortunately for that Kagero, he's not going to be in this game much longer. First shot lands right on top of him, knocking out a few guns, getting a fire started. Unfortunately, he dodges those torpedoes, but we do hit him again, knock out his torpedo launchers, hit him again, and boom. There you go. The Iowa actually got the last shot, but a little bit of teamwork went a long way. And then out of nowhere, we notice there's another Kagero over to our starboard side. I immediately thought, this is the last time I'm going to be seen in this game. He had to have launched torps on me. No reason why not. His detection rating was awfully high, so it led me to believe that he may have not been a very high level Kagero. Maybe his commander wasn't very high level. I immediately hit the brakes, started turning hard to starboard, hit my radar to keep him detected. He tried to move out of detection rating. Since I knew he just launched at me, I went ahead and gave up full broadside so I can hit him with as many guns as possible. Knocked out his steering, trying to get another fire started. He's trying to get away from me, going full broadside to me too. I'm trying to count the seconds in my mind, thinking, has it been 15, 16 seconds? Once it's been that, I start to turn back out straight. That way I can keep lighting him up with the front guns and his torpedoes don't hit me immediately in the side of the ship. Since my sonar's off, my radar's off, I have to keep pressing him. If he makes it out of my detection rating, he'll be gone for the rest of the game, and we'll have to worry about him trying to circle around, knock out our Iowa, knock out some of our other battleships. If he's able to knock out some of our other battleships, he could take that lead we have and knock those points down. I think each time you lose a battleship, it's like minus 65 points, and so we want to get him knocked out ASAP. So whenever I'm pressing a destroyer like this, especially if I don't have my sonar on, and then I go ahead and run a straight zigzag pattern, something that keeps the course changing kind of randomly, and when I see him, I fire. But always keep in mind what angle he keeps, because that'll let me know if he's launched torpedoes at me, and I continue running a zigzag pattern. Every now and then kind of try to change up and change your speed as well. Throw the destroyer off, so when he's launching torpedoes at you and he's trying to read the UI is not giving him the correct information. And then I was like, he's going to the right. And I'm like, I don't know. I really felt like he was going to the left. You kind of got to channel your inner Obi-Wan Kenobi on that one and really feel it out. When you're trying to hunt something that's completely invisible, you're just basically playing a game with yourself in your mind of which direction you'd be going. And I was like, I really don't see him going to the right. A lot less area for him to try to skate through undetected. I would have went to the left and tried to go out along the wall. And so I continue on the path that I originally thought, trying to either wear down enough time for the clock to run out or for my radar to pop back on, and I can go ahead and squash him. And sure enough, I'm glad I followed my instincts when I had cut around to the left side instead of going to the starboard side, and was able to dodge his torpedoes once again. And again, like I thought he was going to do, he's out there skating along the wall, start lighting him up. Since he already fired torpedoes, I know that he does have other torpedo launchers. Go ahead and get full broadside to get a couple more guns on, knocking him out, finish the game. And it was a great work of teamwork for us to get that win, considering that we were being dominated by the other two capture points. Finished the game with 91,000 damage and about 9 fires, 1 destroyer destroyed, top of the chart, 27